All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
This is Show and Tell. Welcome to Show and Tell. We do this Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time before Ask Engineer. This is where people from around the community, Adafruiters, friends of the fruit, people who just make cool stuff, come by. Everybody's welcome. We're on Discord. Go there to get a little invite. Come on by. We're here for about like 25 minutes. We'd love to see what you're working on, even if it doesn't contain Adafruit stuff. It's just Show and Tell.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't. We want to get ideas. You just show us our stuff. But often people use our stuff in ways we don't expect. So do that too.
That's true.
We'll be able to say, I think, soon that we've been doing Show and Tell every week for decades. And I think there's been like a lot of lifelong friendships and people we've hired, we met through Show and Tell. And so before we
think kids grow up, they like
go
to college, graduate, get married, have their own kids.
Yeah, I've seen someone when they were a kid and then they grew up, had a kid, and then that kid met you. It was like, whoa. Time is more than measuring clocks lately. So what I thought we would do is just do a little bit of housekeeping logistics stuff. So we're going to do something different this week. Normally we start off with someone from DigiKeys here. Jay's here. We usually go to Jay first, look at some robots and stuff like that, go through some of our staff, go around and see what they're up to. And then in Discord, we'll post up the link where anyone can join. And this all happens relatively at the same time, 7:30. But this week's a little different because someone who I really admire and has inspired me to do some things in my life that I didn't think I was going to do is been part of this Adafruit journey for a really long time. And this is Trevor's last week as an Adafruit employee, but not done with Adafruit. You're doing game dev and stuff with us, but you're going to try your hand at going big, going bold. I said I'd buy any game you ever make, but Trev, thanks for all your work and smarts and setting a good example for just about everybody for doing the things you want to do and bringing open source values.
You started what department were you in? Kidding? I'm can't remember.
Fab.
You were in Fab.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're in Fab, right. making stuff in America, making stuff in New York, and then you said you really wanted to do iOS development, game development, and then we transitioned you, or you transitioned yourself into that role.
Right.
So folks don't know this at Adafruit. Generally, we don't really hire folks from the outside for roles. We hire people from the outside, but for roles, we try to say okay, why don't we dedicate a day a week and then 2 days a week, and then with so many online learning resources and so many ways, if you're motivated, you can learn almost any skill. So our devs started in other departments, from shipping to production management. And depending on what folks want to do, that's a career path for them. Yeah. And I'm always thankful to use Trevor's example. But when COVID hit, there was an Apple keynote, and there was a really cute picture of Trevor and his daughter doing programming. And they were Apple was like, hey, this is happening, but people are still doing stuff. It was this really neat black and white photo that it was a color photo, and I turned it into a black and white photo.
Right.
So I wanted to be matchy for Apple. And it was really touching and really neat because it meant that life goes on and you could do things and still program and stuff. So I thought that was really neat. I know it meant to a lot of people to see that happening at a tough time. But thank you so much, Trev. And I know you'll be around. And I was telling Trevor he can go into our weekly meeting anytime he wants, but just make it interesting.
And the cool thing is your apps live on. I mean, we're going to
apps live on.
You've developed a lot of apps while you were here, and you worked on them, and they're we're gonna keep them going because they're really cool. You've done a lot if you look back at all the work that you've done. It's really impressive. So
we'll have you by. We'll be keeping in touch and more. I said I wouldn't cry, so I have to move on to the next.
All right.
Well, do you have anything to show? You got anything to show? No.
Nothing to show. Well, no, I do have this one quick thing to show, which is pretty cool. So
you got a quick thing. Do I have to have to find a screen here? What am I? What do you look? What are you doing?
Window.
Let's see if it lets you do it today.
All right, awesome. It's a bit louder in my ear, but
I don't have. I have no. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this game, which is the Great Search, I've added a music player where you can play all of the music from the game.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I named
Grand Theft Auto, you have your own radio station.
Exactly. So right here you can play all of
we have a ton of music.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. That's my parting
all right. Well, you're gonna be working on the game. We're gonna have some ways for folks to make levels. Are you gonna play the Lady Ada game?
I'd love to.
Is that weird? Hey, you know what? There's probably a bunch of people that are living that have been made into a video game. It'd be neat to just watch like 5 minutes, no, even less, maybe 30 seconds of gameplay footage of them playing themselves as the character. I would just watch that. Okay.
That'd be cool.
All right, thanks, Trev. And if you want to check out the game, it's on Discord.
Yeah, and when you
That's
can,
right.
come by and promote your stuff because that's kind of how it works here.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
for
check out
sure.
your own stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool. See you guys.
Thank you, Trev. I'm not gonna miss you because I'm gonna see you more probably.
I know.
That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you guys.
All right.
All
Bye.
right.
All right, Trev. All right, next up is
Okay. We said that I think we would go to DigiKey right after this because that's normally what we do.
Yep.
So
Jay's and Robots.
Jay,
yes,
hello. I was talking about DigiKey last night. Our friends from Microchip, who make microchips, that's the name, is Microchip. For the folks who aren't in the biz, stopped by and we were talking about DigiKey and more. So I said, oh, tomorrow I might see Jay. And here you are. What's going on, Jay?
Here I am. I upgraded my Comet Crawler. So now this is Comet Crawler V2, which is a lot bigger than my last one, but I was able to improve the walking code, which took me a while to get correctly. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch around my camera to that one, and that way you can kind of see. The boot time is a little bit annoying now because the boot time takes a little bit longer, which I don't really like, but I have to make sure everything is calibrated beforehand, and then after the 3-second cycle, it stands, and then of course it will begin to do its talk.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, nice. By the way, that's not a long time. Jay, did you ever see my videos of the Curios when they would wake up, the humanoid robots from Sony? It took like 1.5 minutes. Like all systems getting tested. Like it took a while. It was like watching like a little tiny person or a little tiny old person wake up.
Yeah, I'm used to very much my last version of my Comet Crawler where it was just like instantaneous, but this one has to like go through a whole bunch of little processes before it decides to wake up.
Yeah, that's not
There's
bad.
also a infrared sensor in front here, so when it that's up. When it sees something in front of it, it'll like quickly back up and then try to turn.
Yeah. Our kid has a little crab that goes back and forth that kind of does this. Everything's crab. Someone said everything is eventually a crab in an email client.
Yeah,
Does that do email?
Everything eventually becomes a cephalopod or something like that.
Yeah. Is that email? Is that Outlook Express? Is there email that you can do on that?
I'm not trying to turn everything into a cephalopod. I'm just trying to master the understanding of how to make things walk, and then after that we'll see what happens. But for right now, I'm just focusing on walking, crawling robots.
This is great. All right, fantastic stuff as always.
Thank you.
What a cute robot.
Oh yeah, definitely will be going with me to events and stuff. And I just love how it just like lights up and then comes live. And then I have this really weird antenna that can just go all the way up.
Yeah, it was. Remember in Empire Strikes Back, there was like the cold robot that was like going around, and it was like on Hoth. It's like that kid. It's a cute little kid, not the creepy one that was like doing stuff, but that's its kid. Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen Star Wars, so I'll have to like rewatch.
Empire Strikes Back is pretty good. It's rewatchable.
I heard it's still a classic, so
still good. All right, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, next up, maker Melissa.
Hi.
Melissa, what are you makering?
Do you want to? So this is the match 3 type game here, so you can kind of.
It looks like a slot machine. It looks like a slot machine. We were just talking about Vegas last night or something.
If you don't do a move for like 10 seconds here, then it'll figure or show you like an option there. So it kind of does a little swap there just to show you.
Okay.
So that way you don't get frustrated. And then it'll also detect like if there's no moves left and let you know, and that it's game over at that point.
Oh,
this is great. This is like way better than Candy Crush. Nice work. And
Thank
then what are you developing this in and on? What's the hardware? What's the software?
This is in CircuitPython on the Metro RP2350.
Cool. So you're doing USB input and video output. Do you have any music going on, or is this sound?
I don't have any music on
It's
this.
okay. Maybe somebody will have music.
Beep, beep, beep.
Or maybe we'll get one of the songs from the video game. We'll get the track.
We got so many songs right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, this looks really good.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, it reminds me a lot of playing this game, whatever it was called, on my Mac or Linux computer back in the 90s. So
Yeah, the colors look great on it, and like my joke at the beginning, it looks like other games. So I'm like, oh, I want to make other stuff with it. Like it looks like a slot machine, or like you know,
This is
mine's
a great use of
Reaper.
tiles. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know.
The characters worked out well. We didn't plan this. Oh yeah, we should. Okay.
All
Thanks so
right,
much,
sweet.
Melissa.
All right, thanks, Melissa.
Yeah,
Wait for this to be a guide.
Cool.
Actually, the animations on this were a little tricky. So what I ended up doing is that this is a whole big tile grid. And then when I want to swap it, I have 2 small tile grids, and I set the value of those to what's underneath it. And then I make the underneath disappear, and then I can move them around.
Ah.
Man, oh man, I'm having flashbacks from doing flash on devices.
Yeah.
I'm doing. It's Wednesday night. I'm doing flash on
time to
devices.
double buffer.
It's not double buffer. It's just single buffer.
No, but it's like I remember like doing graphics programming and like it's just like, oh, you want to do animation? Suddenly like everything gets like incredibly complicated.
Hidden layer.
Hidden layers.
Yeah, exactly.
Transparent
Top
buttons.
layer, bottom layer. Okay.
Loading in stuff. Okay.
All right, sweet.
Very cool.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Next up, let's go to Liz, because Liz's video that I think she's gonna show or project is gonna be the intro to Ask an Engineer.
Okay.
Take it away, Liz.
Yeah, so last week I published a guide on this robot xylophone, and it's using a Metro RP2350 and the new I2C to 8-channel solenoid driver. And what's great about using the Metro with it is then I can use the DC jack to give 12 volts to the voltage input for the solenoid, so I can use 12-volt solenoids. And right now it's in MIDI mode, which means over USB MIDI, it's listening for inputs. I have my keyboard here, and I'm hoping you'll be able to hear it.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know if it's changes with CircuitPython over the years or the Metro RP2350, but I had great luck having the MIDI be super responsive. So I was able to have it so that as soon as I do a node on, message node off, the solenoid can retract, and I didn't have any.
I think a lot of people worked on it. I saw a lot of PRs and issues
Yeah,
about trying to get the MIDI to be really fast.
It's beautiful now.
It's weird. MIDI USB is like the weirdest thing.
It is. It really is. And then the only thing is, like, I've done a couple of MIDI instruments, so I decided I wanted to add another mode called Music Box mode, and I'm just going to set Music Box to true in the code that I have opened up to the side, and it'll reboot. And then now, when I press the boot button, it plays MIDI files that are on the drive. So I wrote a MIDI parser CircuitPython helper library. So now you can load a bunch of MIDI files onto a CircuitPy drive, and it can play it back. And I made it so that you have a custom class, so you can have it, your code, do certain things when the certain MIDI messages in the MIDI file are received. So with this way, you don't necessarily have to have a MIDI controller if you just want it to like play random songs, like nursery rhymes or things for kids. Like you could have it and then just press the button and it'll play it.
You know what I think this would be good for is, you know, I've had like a doctor's appointment, like whatever your standard yearly, but there was somebody playing TikToks in the waiting room. And like, you know, like there's nothing, you're about to get called up. So you're like, you're not going to say anything, but they're like, like watching a TikTok really loud. I'd love to be like, oh, I'm also ready to play some music and just like bring this out and just have it just like start playing.
Yeah.
And then when they look at you, you're like, what?
I would totally make a TikTok of that, and then I would watch the TikTok, and then I would sit next to you, and then I would be the one who gets the money from TikTok, and I'd TikTok it there.
Anyway, this is very cute.
Thank you.
Good work. All right, and the guide's live. People can build this themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful video. Did you use a slider?
I did for one of the shots in there. There's a slider.
I know you did. Because I was standing still, but it was moving.
I think that's, you should, Liz lives, you know, living in the same house with Noah. It's like, it's all sliders everywhere.
It is.
The coffee maker's on a slider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The cat's
on a slider.
You stand still, and everything
just
slides to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that's the most efficient way to do things.
All right,
Thanks so
Liz.
much, Liz.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, let's slide on over to GP.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, I want to add to that. I'd like to compose the musical score for Phil's TikTok about Lamore's xylophone in the waiting room to drown out the TikTok of the other person. So
Yeah, I'll tag you.
Thank you. All right. So what I'm working on is unrelated to that.
Or I'll do a stitch.
This is over here. I've got a RP2350 Metro with the DVI video out. And right now using an OTG cable to inject power into a game controller and data to the Metro as well as powering the whole thing, I'm running Pico.NES, which people may or may not remember from a couple years ago. This is a Nintendo Entertainment System emulator for originally RP2040, now running on RP2350. And I'll just play a moment of this shooter. I'm terrible at these kinds of shooters. But you can see it's running smooth. It's playing great. Right now, some of the colors are inverted, so there's some issues there. Sound will work over a DAC that I don't have hooked up yet, but we're hoping to leverage the work of the community. This has largely been the effort of Frank Codemakers, and if you go to the Learn Guide for our original Pico.NES, you'll find all Frank's info there, and you can find his repos where he's working on this. But it's exciting to be moving the emulation into this new generation of the RP2040s, and hopefully also, since this is basically compatible with the Fruit Jam, we'll have a nice emulator that we can run, plug a controller or two into the ports there without needing all this cabling, without needing an extra bit there. But for the meantime, we've got it running pretty nicely right there on.
Yeah, it's good just like testing, during development. And it's great that they got, so this is DVI over the HSTX. So that's one big improvement. Is now there's no like DMA / I mean, there's DMA, but there isn't like a PIO running the DVI. It's done with this peripheral, which means that hopefully we'll get native USB working because we'll have those resources available. And also I2S, because that requires a PIO and USB requires a PIO. So yeah, so
chipping away at it, and it's been fun working
with
Frank on this and testing it out.
And for everyone out there, here's things you can do. Whether or not the developer has a Patreon or a GitHub sponsor or a PayPal thing, or whether they have one or not, if you use it, take a photo. If you and people you like are using it, take a photo of you and the people you like using it together. You don't have to have their faces. You can, shoot the photo from behind and send it to the developer, because this is hard. It takes a long time. But if you do have the other things, you can also chip in a buck or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put a link in
burnout and all that. We got to avoid if people are doing something nice. Think about the price of admission to have this much fun. Like how much does it cost for you to have 2 hours of fun now in this modern era?
These days it's like $45.
Like what is it per hour now just to have fun?
It's at least $20.
So
in New York, it's $20.
This is a deal.
$25.
So okay, JP, are you going to be showing this off and more?
Yeah, I'll run around with this and some other stuff tomorrow on my show. One thing I wanted to show on this also is that it's got a few ROMs baked into it, but eventually we'll probably go to the ROMs on SD cards so that you get your nice little cartridge experience.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, don't steal games, so you should own these cartridges and get a ROM.
Dude, I bought Castlevania. I bought Zelda, Super Mario 2. They were
Mario so many
times.
I'll get to that in a sec. One of the things I'm really looking forward to, because it doesn't make any sense to do, but it was every science fiction movie was like they have tiny CDs.
Yeah.
So like Minority Report was like, let's go look at my dead kid or something, and like he put in the little CD and he's like, I can't believe it's a dead kid. And so what's cool is we can make that now. We can have we could play our little movies and stuff like that. And as far as video games go, I think at some point, like these retro games, I understand intellectual property. We live by it. We like it and everything. However, at some point, when something has been around for so long and everyone has played it and it's everybody's in some way. I feel like Super Mario or like Pac-Man, it's kind of like the default human experience.
Yeah.
Like I get that there's a business behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like
you can always find a used cartridge of Mario for about $8 and then just always show that and say, see, I ripped the ROM off of this.
We should show how to do, we have enough kids on the 2350, we could do a ROM ripper.
But there's this thing too, where everyone kind of self-polices in some weird way. Like, oh, you spelled Lego wrong. It's like, why are you doing Lego's branding work for them? When did you become, in the maker world sometimes happens, hey, don't be a cop. So I think they don't really go after individuals for home use and all that stuff. Folks, just be smart about it. Don't hey, there's
also a huge homebrew NES development. I saw there's a lot of really good games. You don't have to Play
Yeah.
the game,
One of my favorites is this game Micro Mages, and I've shown it every time we've done something with NES emulation. It's a modern. I've bought it. You can buy the digital file. You can also sometimes they'll sell a cartridge. And I love that game. And I paid $15 or something to a modern developer who created this incredible NES game.
Yeah, show that. But also, I think we should be cool. Like everybody, like be smart.
cool.
Do what you gotta do. Like, we know. If you know, you know. Okay, thanks, JP.
All right, thank
See you this week.
Bye.
See ya.
Okie dokie. Next up, we're gonna go to Tim, and then we're gonna go to Cooper, and then we're gonna. Oh, sorry, no, Tim, and then Erin, and then Cooper.
All right, you'll have to speed around a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Whatever.
Tim's fast.
Tim,
Hello. Yep, I've been working on the OPT4048 driver this week for CircuitPython. So this is a demo showing it running on CircuitPython, and it's using something very similar to the Arduino demo that was the web serial. But I converted it over to CircuitPython and I moved it to use HTTP server. So the web page actually being hosted by the microcontroller. And that also has the benefit of not using web serial. So we can use it in other browsers, like this is in Firefox, whereas the other one is in Chrome. And I have the camera loaded up. So I just have it pointed with some green lights there. OPT sensor is hidden inside there. And if we switch it to something else, then we can kind of see that the plotter will update. Maybe we need to refresh. I have had it running, so we got a live demo moment. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, it happened.
Here we go. Oh, it does not like that. Let's see, maybe one more. Give it a try. Oh.
Well, there's data streaming out of it.
Yeah, there we go. I think, I don't know. I think the WebSocket got trafficked up there. But yeah, live updates to the colors, so you can kind of shine different lights on it, and it will update, show you what the colors are. And then I'll show you one more quick thing I did with it on my own time over the weekend. I will say before I show it, it's kind of like flashing warning because it is going to flash some lights. So if anyone doesn't want that, maybe look away for a second. But let me switch this one back. And so we'll run that. And then on this one, I think I can save it and then run it, and it should go. And so it's going crazy there, flashing a bunch of lights. And while it's doing that, I'll tell you, I was kind of eyeballing some of the faster conversion times that this thing can do. Oh, and we got another demo moment, because it basically what it's supposed to do is transmit data through these flashing lights. So I went through and assigned a series of colors to each byte, and then the sender side can flash the colors, the receiver side can receive them. And then it's supposed to be sending CircuitPython. I'm having some trouble with it now with the lights, of course, as it goes with demos.
But I have this thought in my head that won't go away now. It's CircuitPython.
CircuitPy.
Yeah, I could see the code. Thanks.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, thank you. So that's what I've been up to.
All right, are you going to do a deep dive this week?
Yep, I'll be on deep dive this week. Yeah, I worked on the WebSocket one. If anyone's interested in this WebSocket demo, that's what we worked on last week. So if you want to see the code behind that, you can. And I'll be back on Friday this week.
All right, I'm going to have it on in the background. Some weeks I'm getting back from Adafruit because we have our State of the Fruit, and I can listen to the background this week. I will be tuning in. The most important thing before Tim shows everyone is not only Tim, it's the audience. Stop by Fridays at 3 p.m. Sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
We didn't get rid of any of the time zone stuff yet, right? No, it's still around. Okay. All right. See you on Friday, Tim.
Yep. See ya.
All righty. Now let's go over to Erin. Erin, how are you doing? What you got going on?
I have kind of a super simple project this week. I have made a little birthday crown for a little 12-year-old in my life. I'm using these little number filaments that Avery just started stocking. They're super cool. They're just an LED, so you just hook them up. I got it hooked up to a coin cell battery holder right here. 2 batteries for 2 numbers, or I have one for my 8-year-old, which is 1 battery for 1 number. So a super simple guide, and it is up on the Learn system now. So
that's great.
Thank you.
And you can do it over, and like they can save it. And these, I'm not sure if they're toddler safe. I do know that toddler here does play with those numbers, and so far nothing bad has happened. Don't suggest it.
Yeah. You could break them, but it's okay.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's not the worst thing. Okay.
Thank you, Erin. Check out the guide. Everybody who's wants to build it. It's live now.
All right. Thanks so much, Erin. All right.
Thanks,
next up, we're going to go to
Cooper.
Cooper, what you got going on?
How's it going? I
Good.
have a little different today. I saw JP's product pick of the week a few weeks back, and I couldn't help myself. and get one of those OV5640 cameras. Now this is a little early on. I'm working on a case, but it is functionally there. I've made a little webcam using
with the little...
some of the support out there.
Yeah,
and my idea.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
I know. I wish I had a better camera.
No, it's so cute.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to get something really small, almost like the little Instagram icon or something.
So yeah.
Out, snap some photos. If I can get the thing to change. So
I like how you can turn into selfie mode just by turning the board around.
When we
here we go. So you can do all the little effects on and stuff that are supported. Oh no, you can't see it.
Yeah, it's got like solar eyes and like
grayscale, red, everything, and you just hit the shutter button. It automatically goes from preview mode to snapshot mode or whatever.
And it takes it. Yeah, I fully expect there to be some like fun luxury cameras or like things or like ones that people can make themselves. When we got the round displays, one of the things that we did first was like what things are circular that we can do. So we had like a washing machine notifier that when your washing machine's going, it's turning, and then when it's done, it'll go red. So we had the Bill Nye intro because it goes around. Because it's a new canvas that you get if you start playing around with round displays, and there's a novel. There's a novel.
Kind of hard to design the GUI a little bit, I'll admit.
Yeah, but it's fun
because there's actually 2 different feeds. I don't know. It's really strange, hard to explain to get it so it updates very quickly because the tile grid was just not fast enough for that preview bitmap.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll get into it. But yeah, it's running on a Pico 2W. Little battery lipo pack thing and everything. I don't know. It's fun.
That's cool. All right, well, come back as you work on it, and then if you
take some
photos,
little case, and I'll make a little learn guide.
Yeah, if you're running out of ideas for the round, for anything round that like animates, I spent way too much time, and this was before there was like ChatGPT, so I couldn't just ask like, "What's round graphics?" that'll look good on display. So that was homemade, artisanal round research graphics. Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
All right, Boian, you have
combine speed round it. What do you got going on?
Hello, guys. Yeah, I am working now to add in Visuino. This is Arduino Nano Matter. Yeah, one of the customers has sent it, and let's quickly see if I can share the screen.
Yeah, just look at it.
So, okay, let's see which one. Windows screen 1, screen 2. Yeah, okay. I think I'm sharing the right screen, so you can see Visuino
and into another dimension. Yes.
Yeah, you can see Visuino and you can see the Nano. So far, I have mapped all the GPIO pins, including the DACs with the corresponding DAC functionality. I have added the functionality for the nano shields, which allows you to add the corresponding nano shields. The I2C channels are already mapped. The SPI channels are mapped, and I have done the built-in RGB and boot button access, and I did some testing. Let's see if it works.
Live demo. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't think it. Oh yeah, it's programmed. It's programmed, and you can see that you can control it.
Awesome.
So in addition to that, I'm also working to add the CAN FD finally. So Visuino supports CAN bus, but I'm adding the CAN FD extension effectively. So that's another area I'm working on the Matter. The remaining thing is I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna map it, whether or not it will be both Bluetooth and Matter protocol. Or whether or not I can, through Bluetooth, implement Matter myself and have everything available at once. But again, I'm still looking at the protocols and the best way to communicate with it.
Okay, great.
All right, well,
keep coming by.
If you figure that one out, that might be a neat one to talk about when you come back. Like, why did you decide, one way or the other?
Sure, fantastic. Yeah, we can have a more in-depth conversation, and I'm sure people will be interested because, again, Matter is new for me. I have done Blee a lot.
Yeah, if you do that, what I would do is do the demo, and then tell folks to hang out in the chat because they're going to have a lot of like typey questions.
Sure.
That way, because I don't know I got Matter stuff the commercial things that you can buy, but I want to start making my own.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thanks,
yeah,
Boian.
yeah. I'll cover that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks so
Okay,
much.
Take care.
all right. That was a mega show and tell.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for coming by and joining the show and tell. And of course, special thanks to Trevor, who's going on a journey. You, of course, have a place here at Adafruit, and you'll be working on our games
We will see him
and
again.
more. Like I said, I want
People never leave.
shoot your shot, and I want to buy the game that you build. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see everybody next week. Next week will be Liz, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That is show and tell. Ask an Engineer starts in just 2 minutes or less as soon as I can get it all done. Bye.
Thanks.